Hi, today we're going to talk about how we can use Excel to do our linear regression equations. Recall from our studies that linear regression is used to understand the relationship between variables and also used to predict one variable based on another variable. In simple linear regression, we only have two variables that we're looking at. In this, we have a dependent variable and an independent variable. Multilinear regressions can be used or done in Excel, but I'm not going to cover that today. If you have interest in that, I'll be happy to show you those later. Let's take a look at a linear formula. So recall from your math studies, y equals mx plus b. So the wonderful thing about calculating this in Excel is once you have your data points, so we have an x and a y, and we can plug that into Excel and it'll actually give us this formula here. So it's going to do a best fit of y and x's that we plug into it, and it's going to give us the calculation for a line. Here we have a sample data set. We're given the sales of hot dogs and also the sales of ketchup. So let's just say a local grocery store wanted to see how much ketchup it should purchase in order to meet its demands for ketchup. They notice that when a person buys hot dogs, they often buy ketchup. So they wanted to see if there was a linear relationship there in order to predict what they should purchase in ketchup. So we're given X as our hot dog sales, and we're going to try to figure out if Y, our independent variable, or ketchup in this case, is dependent on our hot dog sales. So we're going to look at this data set using Excel. Now that we've reviewed regression, we're going to do regression using Excel. In this video, I'm using Excel 2013, so it may look a little different than your version of Excel if that's not the one that you're using. So I have our sample data set here, given our sales of hot dogs and our sales of ketchup. Recall our sales of hot dogs is our independent variable. We're trying to calculate to see if the sales of ketchup may be dependent on the sales of hot dogs. The first thing that we're going to do is go to the top and go to our data ribbon. We click on our data ribbon, and what comes up is data analysis in the analysis chunk. Now, data analysis is an add-in, so if you do not have this shown in your data ribbon, please reach out to me and I'll be happy to send you a video on how to add this in. We're going to click on our data analysis, and when we do that, we have all of these analysis tools that we can use within Excel. So we're interested in doing regression. We're going to click on regression. And Excel is asking us to highlight what would be the independent variable. Shown here is the Y range. I'm going to select my data from our ketchup, and I'm going to pull all that data into Excel. I'm going to click on my independent X range and load in my data for my independent variable or hot dog sales. This button here labeled labels is for if you had included the labels given in your Excel. I didn't do that, so I'm going to leave that blank. Now Excel wants me to choose where I'd like the regression output to be. So I can put this on the same page, or I can start a new worksheet, which would be located at the bottom of this worksheet. I'm going to choose to put the data output right at the bottom of our data set. Be very careful, Excel always defaults back up to the Y range. So what you want to make sure you do is click on the output range. I've clicked on my output range, and now I need to assign a cell in here which will start my regression output. So I'm going to go to the bottom of my data set and choose a cell. And now my data output will be right below my data set. I'm also going to include any residuals that I'd like to see. In this case, we'll do a residuals plot. And that's it. Now Excel is going to do our calculation for us. So as you can see, we now have our summary output, which includes all of our information that we need to look over our regression, our linear regression between hot dogs and ketchup. So here we have our regression statistics at the top, which leads then into our ANOVA, followed at the bottom here with our coefficients. They're very important because this actually gives us our line. Remember, we're doing linear regression. So this will tell us our intercept, and this area, our x variable, will tell us our slope. So good luck with this in Excel. And again, if you have any questions as far as Excel and regression, please reach out to me. This concludes my presentation on using Excel to calculate your linear regressions. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll be happy to help. Take care.